Hello, this is Nick McClay, also known as Nikio on the WildPocket site, and today I'm going to show you how to export your models out of 3ds Max and publish to the web using the WildPockets plugin. If you'd like to check out what this looks like in the end, you can go to Play Model Gallery and check out any of the models in the model gallery. We'll check out BGR2 by BitterArt here. You can see it opens it up. Here's a model viewer, and here is a 3D model inside of a model viewer to check out. Okay, now to get the model in here, we first had to export it out of 3ds Max. So to do that, we're going to check out these instructions on the side of the model viewer gallery, and we're going to go through these one by one. Step one, we're going to need to get the actual exporter for doing this. If you go to click on more info here, you can get to the Art Exporter downloads, and you can see all of the exporters available for WildPockets at the time. We support 3ds Max, Maya, and Blender. We're going to focus on 3ds Max right now. Regardless of whichever exporter you use, you're going to need to grab Curl. Curl is just a simple program that we use to upload the files to our servers here. So you would right click and save as, and you would put it somewhere. And where you actually want to put this file is within your C drive Windows directory. So within Windows, you're going to want to jump down, and you can see here's my curl installation right here, and you're just going to drop that in there. Okay? Alright, let's save that. We're not going to replace that. We'll cancel that. Okay. In my case, we're using the Max 2010 32-bit exporter I've already have installed. But again, if you didn't have this, you would download it. It would ask you to save the file. It's a simple plugin file. Put it on your desktop, and you're going to want to drop it in your Max plugins directory, which is usually under Program Files, Autodesk, whatever version of Max you plan to use this in, and then find the plugins folder, and as you can see, here is my Max plugin right here. Okay, mine is already installed here. So after that, you are completely ready to get started and use the exporter. So we're going to open up 3ds Max here. You can see I'm inside my 3ds Max environment. And the first thing you're going to do is bring in your model. We're going to, for the sake of simplicity, use the time-honored teapot model. Wonderful. Okay, so we have the Max demo teapot up here. And maybe give that just a few more subdivisions so it'll look nice. Okay. And we're going to find the exporter. Now the exporter is available underneath the Helpers tab, and you're going to scroll down and you're going to see an exporter option. Okay, when you click on exporter, you'll see the WildPockets exporter available here. To drop the exporter in the scene, you just click, and it'll select it, and then click anywhere in the scene, and it will draw this simple little egg guy here that will scale with my camera regardless. And this is the actual exporter device in the scene. To use the exporter, now that it's dropped in, go to the Modify tab, and you will see a series of options related to this modifier when it's selected. So that's simple enough. The modifier panel itself has support for adding models, which is used to add models to this queue of things we can export. We can export multiple things at once. Edit, which will allow us to change things we've already made, and remove, will obviously remove things from it. So let's go ahead and add one. And it'll pop up this dialog here. At this point, we're going to need to enter in our WildPockets user ID, which at this point is, I'm going to use my ID, so put in Nikio, and we'll go to the library file name, which is the name of the asset. We'll say teapot max test, and you can add spaces in here, you can add anything you want, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go with teapot max test, sounds good. And we're going to export the entire scene. If you'd like to target meshes specifically, you can click export meshes, add, and it will pull up the add dialog, and you can actually target specific meshes in here. In this example, we're not going to worry about that. You can also export animations, which I'll come to in another tutorial in the future. So we do have support for both, but right now we're going to focus just on the model and getting it into the web. So we have export the entire scene. I could add a series of tags here, teapot, test model. You get the idea. Anything I want to add to help me find this later on in the global library, actually. Doesn't really matter. We have actual physics properties we could set. If I wanted to set this in our engine, this has mass, so if I happen to know this is a 50 kilogram teapot, I can do that. I also have options to combine meshes. Usually it's guided to have that on. The rest of these we don't really need to worry about right now. So we're going to click OK. We have a teapot in here. Again, if I wanted to make changes to that, all I need to do is select it and go to Edit. We get the Edit menu and we can make all these changes here. Alright, so we have our model set up here. And we probably want to put this directly into 3ds Max, so we're going to go to open the gallery setup page. Now this will put us directly onto the WildPockets website with a viewable version of our model. So that's what we're going to check. And WP 1.5 compatible is if you've published a game in the past using the WildPockets exporter and you have an asset that you're updating. We've slightly changed the way some materials are handled in the engine. So if you're working on a 1.5 compatible game, you'd want to check this. For most users, they're just going to leave that blank. Okay, so now this is selected. I'm going to click Export Now. It's going to prompt me for my password, which I'll enter here. Okay, and it's going to pop up this dialog right here. That's actually curl exporting the model, and as soon as it finishes exporting, you can see it popped up a window for me and dropped me on a web page on the WildPocket site. And you can see it's loaded my asset, and boom, Teapot embedded 3D in the web instantly. So this is how my model will actually look in WildPockets in the model viewer. And you can see it has the same thing as the BG. I can rotate it around and take a look at it. Clicking space will turn on a few different visualization modes. One click is wireframe, 2 clicks is an opaque wireframe, so I can look at it very clearly on a black version of the model. And then I have a clear wireframe too, as well as self-illuminated if I want to look at it just with self-illuminated materials. Alright, so at this point I'm almost done with the process. This is how it actually looks, but it's not actually published to gallery yet. To publish to gallery, I'm going to want to finish this form. So I'm going to add a title here. We're going to say Teapot Test and privacy. I need to choose a privacy level. Do I want people to be able to use this model in their own games and build things with it? In this case, I don't really care, so I'm going to set it to public. If you really want to protect your privacy on these models, you can set them to private. Just so you know though, right now privacy is enforced through the model viewer, so setting this to private will not allow the model to be shown in the model viewer by anyone other than yourself. So for all practical purposes, to publish to gallery, you want to make sure you set this to public. Alright, so then I can set a description. This is my Teapot test model. Alright, we have that. And I can have to upload a thumbnail image at some time. So allow me to find one. It will open the prompt. I show an image right here, Teapot thumb. And we're going to upload that. Alright, we have a Teapot thumbnail right there. And that's all there really is to this. I can click Save. It should run through the save process. Alright, and it has added the Teapot model to the website. And you can see at the top of the gallery right here, here's my Teapot model. And I'll click on it, and it'll open up within the gallery preview window. And done. We have an embedded WildPockets model and a web page from 3ds Max. If I would like to share this anywhere else on anything I'm interested in, all I need to do is click the embed page here. And it will open up a link, and I can put this anywhere I want. I can put this on my blog, and put it in a forum post, I can put it anywhere I need, and it will embed the actual model viewer and the model itself with it. Similarly, if I'd like to pass this on to Twitter or Facebook or Dig, I can click these links and I can pass them through that as long as I have accounts with those things. Alright, and that's all there really is to using the 3ds Max exporter with WildPockets and getting your models to the web. We hope you'll check out all the other models that have been added on here and give them some feedback and critique people. And also, give us some feedback on the actual process if you get a chance. There's a little feedback link on the page. Has some simple questions about the model viewer experience. We'd love to hear what people think and what they're looking for extra features wise. Again, this is Nick McClay, also known as Nikio on the site. And that's all for this tutorial. Thanks a lot.